Test. Okay, you should be able to hear me now. I apologize. My computer just updated and rebooted, so I really didn't have time to even check the settings or anything like that. So let me start all over again and introduce myself all over in the show and give all my blessings to Hurricane Ian survivors and all those, and then get into today's topic of why it's important about the top five. Now that I did my little intro, I can get back to where I was at. That's how we do it. So, the importance, right? The reason why I comprise this list, because as I was saying, everybody keeps telling me you have to come with a list. You have to make a list. People like lists, so I want to get back into the premise of why I started podcasting to begin with. And I want to reiterate that part because it's very important, all jokes aside. If an individual, male, female, anything in between, if an individual has been incarcerated in the American justice system for a decade or more, these issues are going to be existent out of 9 out of 10 of them. And tonight's topic is essentially for the individuals who I'm speaking specifically for the ones who have been self-conscious, who have made changes and truly want to come home and try to be a good citizen, find peace and happiness within their life, and just live their life in love and peace and harmony for the rest of their lives. They're out there. I'm one of them. So, with that being said, right, with that disclaimer being let out there, that is for these individuals. And this top five list that I comprise for are for serious relationships because we are good people coming out of prison. We've just been through a lot, and hopefully this list will cover a little bit of that and give our communities a little bit more understanding because we need love too, we need love too, but we're just so misunderstood. So with that being said, let me get into number five, right? Number five of the top no's, the top no-nos of dating a convict. Now again, convict is it's a name that media likes to associate to violence, to all the tattoos, to all the stigmatic things that we hear about that goes on in prison. They like to tie that word convict to that type of stigma. It's just not true. Essentially all a convict is just a person who just does their own time, minds their own business, and is in their own world, right? Is in their own world doing their own time and nothing else bothers them. Like a convict can walk down the run and out of the corner of their eyes see some sort of atrocity going on in a cell as they walk by. A convict is just going to keep on walking and knows not to even look that way into the room, because it's not your business. It's not a cell that has any association to you. You have nothing to do with it. Doesn't even matter. And you just keep it pushing, right? Other inmates will look in there or they'll run around and be asking questions, trying to put themselves involved in it because they like drama. They like that dramatic life. And there's a lot of that goes on inside, right? That drama. But not for convicts. Convicts don't want drama because we've already had that drama. We know what it brings, and people lose lives, limbs, and they go home not in one piece. And we start to understand that, and that's when you start to mold into being a true convict, right? And understanding all of what that means and representing that in the fashion. And that's why I still call myself a convict to this day because again, it's not a prison thing. It's not something that I called myself to survive in prison. It's a way of life. It's a manhood. It's and people that understand that get that, right? So top five no's of dating a convict. Number five, institutionalized, right? We hear this word a lot. We hear this word being thrown out a lot. He's institutionalized. She's institutionalized. It's understanding exactly what that means, institutionalized, right? When we're coming home from prison, we've been in a system that has been designed to herd us like sheep, in and out, from the very moment we enter into the system to the moment we leave the system. The system is designed to do everything for us, right? That could be a blessing or it could be a curse. It all depends on the individual and their thought process going into that. But the system is there. And that institutionalization occurs over years of just doing the same thing over and over again, the replication, right? Like clockwork, because that's all we're doing is we're just burning calendars, right? And we call it programs, we call it bidding, we call it however you want to call it. It's just knocking calendars down, if you have a release date, if you have a release date. So we become institutionalized in that, that rhythm, that heartbeat. And when that heartbeat becomes erratic, it displaces us, and I'll get into that further on down in the list, but it's understanding that this individual that you were dating that is coming home from this institution is institutionalized, and understanding exactly what that means and how you can comfort that institutionalization. It's not anything that's going to go away anytime soon. Again, this is a decade or more, so it's not anything that's going to go away anytime soon, but it's understanding the mechanisms, right, of how institutionalization works, and the comfort that it brings us returning home, that need for a design, in a sense. Institutionalization, it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. Again, if it's recognized and it's adhered to in a proper manner, it can be used as a tool, because again, this is an inmate, this is a convict who was running his own program inside, right? He was running his own program, and he did it for years. This is how he burned calendars, and he was successful doing it. And if he came home in one piece without being stabbed, sexually molested, or anything of that fashion, then he did his prison time successfully. Especially if he wants to come home and be a pillar of his community now. So doesn't change the fact he could come home, she could come home, still be a pillar of the communication. They're still institutionalized. It doesn't change the fact that institutionalization is still implemented in there, right? Again, and then it's a process. So it's just understanding, trying to set structure, trying to set boundaries, right? Because we have boundaries. And when we're coming home from prison, those boundaries are now expanded tenfold, depending if we're on paper, house arrest, or completely free, sets the determination of where those boundaries lie at. But it there has to be some sort of structure there to make us feel comfortable and confident. Institutionalized, number 5. Number 4, right? Get a sip of my good old coffee. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Nobody invited you on the show. Your butt up out of here. Some good old Joe. Good Joe. Number 4, selfishness. Selfishness plays a big part, and it's understanding the selfishness. It doesn't mean that we're selfish coming home, that we're selfish individuals, because a lot of us are so humble, and by the time we make it to the door, we've really became humble individuals. But the selfishness that I'm speaking of is understanding that this individual has spent a great many years only protecting themselves, only concerned about themselves, only living for themselves, only taking care of themselves. Their responsibilities were for themselves. Now, there are many many people who are incarcerated who still delegate responsibilities to the streets and have responsibilities that they take care of on the street as well. And again, we do what we can, but at the end of the day, we have a very selfish mindset coming out of prison. One, we've been incarcerated for a very long time, and we want to. It's just letting a bull out of the pen, essentially. And there's many things that we just want to experience. Again, if we've been gone longer than a decade, 10 years or more, we've missed out on a lot. So we're going to be very selfish in our mindset of things that we want to do. And it doesn't mean no harm, but we're almost childlike. It's almost like a childlike state, and allowing a child back into the candy store that they've already experienced once, but you told can't go there for many, many, many months, you know? And what makes it so bad is how prisons are designed and built. They're right in the community. So you could look out the window and see freedom. Now just picture that kid just sitting there looking at that candy store for all those months knowing he can't go in. It's the same thing, you know? We get out of prison, we become children. We want to run amok, and this is again a lot of what I'm trying to help as well. Recidivism is out of the gate. Almost 77% of individuals that come home from prison are returning back to prison within the first 5 years. You know, 55% of those return within the first year. And it is my duty, knowing what I know, to come on and use social media and this platform to try to raise awareness as to why that number is so high. I understand, I get it. I'm living through it. So I'm opening myself for public eye and public opinion, public view, so that they can understand what we have to go through coming home. What we have to do, go through coming home. Doing that long of a sentence and coming home by yourself is a tough enough task. Re-entering back into society by yourself is a tough enough task. And when you enter into the realm of relationships and you're trying to add that into the mix as well, it makes things tough, right? And a lot of reasons why individuals go back to prison is because of failed relationships, toxic relationships that they get into coming out of prison, right? The lustfulness of it, again, the selfishness of it, the institutionalization of it. It's just the mindset that we have coming out of prison. We put ourselves in toxic situations that could land us right back into prison. Because no matter who is at fault, this person could be inciting you until finally you do that one thing. But when that probation officer comes, the police come, or whoever comes, whose side are they going to take? So these are the things. Number 4 is the selfishness, understanding that this individual has a selfish mindset. Again, it's not selfishness in a bad thing. It's just that is the mindset because this individual has been taking care of themselves for a very long time. So it's going to be that me first mentality, right? That every decisions is going to be about me. It's going to be me first mentality. Even if we try not to be, when it comes to decision making and things of that nature, we're just going to do it, right? Because that's just what we've been doing. Number 3. Number 3 is a big one for me, man. Especially going on today. Me being out 6 years, number 3 is a very, very, very big one for me. I see it happen a lot. It goes on with a lot of returning citizens because, again, we in the community do not understand what a prisoner has went through. We don't believe it. We think that the person's just making it up. We see the movies in Hollywood. We hear about these things, but it's just, for whatever reason, it's just not connecting, right? And all of this leads into number 3, misrepresentation. Misrepresentation. There's very few triggers for me, but being misrepresented is a very big trigger for me. because people are passing judgment upon me, right? In a misrepresentation, because they see it as one way without even truly understanding what lies beneath what they're seeing. They just see something and they conclude it to be one way. And that is based upon societal experience, not prison experience. So I thought long and hard of how I could really truly get out misrepresentation, you know. And the biggest thing for me, I put a post out on Facebook, about several hours ago of me eating a slice of pizza, right? And I put the caption that people say I need to smile more, or not look so angry all the time. Think this is something that I have heard consistently since I've been home. I need to smile more. You look angry all the time. Why are you so mad looking? And I've heard this from my daughter. I've heard it, from almost every one of my family members, people that I've seen on the street, things of that nature, because their perception of me to them is a demeanor of angry. This is I guess I represent the demeanor of an angry person to them from societal means, because they don't understand truly the depth of what prison does to not only to the body physically, mentally, but just spiritually, emotionally, every aspect, right? It changes you. It makes you serious. This is a serious environment, and it's just not about playtime anymore. And you understand that once that line is crossed, right? I mean, this is scripture. You cannot unknow what you know. Once you have been privy enough to see something, you cannot unsee it. So once you know of the danger that lurks there, right? You would have to be completely just an unempathetic, right, sadistic soul of a human being to not try to contribute to changing these atrocities that that are there. You know, once you have been open to that, you just cannot. At least I can. I just cannot sit back and not do anything or say anything, knowing that this evil exists. You know, some may, some may not, but I just can't. So a lot of that seriousness, of course, comes into me. I'm not big on TV and sports and football and stuff like that anymore. There's too much going on around me. There's too much going on in life, and it's not that I'm angry. It's not that I'm serious, it's just that I'm determined. I'm focused, I'm focused, and it's there's not too much really other that's important to me at this juncture in my life, is other than getting out what is going on behind closed doors that we the people not only do we not know about, but obviously really don't even too much care about. And I'm trying to get we the people to understand the importance behind that, you know, because we're going to lose what we have. There's no question about it. That's the path that we're on. We're on to a compliant pathway where they just want us to just sit down and be told what to do. That is what these people are trying to do. So when people say that I'm angry, I'm again, um, I've been through a lot, and it's not to say that I'm angry, but it's to say that I don't trust people. You know, I've learned in my life that people have said and will say a lot of things. When you sit down and you truly just don't say a word for one day, just go on a silent break. Just say today, I'm fasting, taking a speech fast. I'm not speaking all day. Write notes, text, whatever it is, but don't get into it, because the whole point of it is to be one with thought. But when you do this, you're conscious to How many words are around you at all times being said? People are just constantly talking, and they're not even privy. They're not even realizing their words. They don't even realize the words that they're using and the impact that it has on people. Hey, Angie, what's going on? The impact that it has on people. You know, so once we understand the impact that our words have on people, at least for me, I'm very careful with them as much as I possibly can be. And I can be sharp because I know the truth hurts, but I'm not going to dance around the truth anymore. I would rather, if it's going to sting, I would rather just sting and get it over with and pray that this human being has enough care and love for me to understand where I'm coming from. I just come from a place of care because I want all of us, right? I want all of us to be happy and healthy and just get along with each other. This utopia. People tell me all the time I'm crazy, it's not going to happen, but does that mean you don't try? You know. So, number 3, misrepresentation, right? Don't misrepresentate the person because of your perception of how you think they are. Don't keep asking the person, are they okay? Are they okay? Are they okay? Let them guide, let them lead. You know, they'll talk, we'll talk. If I'm not feeling okay and I trust you, like we're partners, I'm gonna let you know, man, I'm not right. But somebody that keeps asking me all the time, man, you okay, man? You okay? You look mad. What you mean I look mad, man? What does that mean? So misrepresentation. And then the worst part is when the biggest no, the biggest trigger about it is don't go and tell somebody else your perception of what this person is. Don't go and tell somebody else this person is angry. Like this person came home angry. He's angry all the time. You know, that is the type of misrepresentation that one will not only land me back in jail. You run around telling everybody I'm angry all the time, and something pops up. Oh, what Thomas shit? He's angry all the damn time. He must have done it. He just came home too. Stop it. It's about communication. It's about understanding that you see something a certain way and just trying to understand that that is your way of seeing it. That doesn't make it a reality. One of the biggest mistakes that we have coming out is misrepresentation. We're misrepresented all the time, you know. So just don't look at my demeanor and come to your own conclusions. Talk it out with me. Ask me, you know. Moving on to number 2. These are the biggies now. The biggies. Number 2, understanding mental health. Mental health is very, very big for me. Again, this is the premise of why I created everything that I did and have going on, is to bring awareness to the mental health aspect of what this prison industrial complex does to the human brain. Again, physically, mentally, spiritually. The whole thing is designed to attack us on all fronts, and it does that strategically and masterfully. They've been tweaking it for many, many years now. Mental health. Understanding the type of PTSD that is coming out of prison. It's not this casual standard PTSD that we're hearing on TV and stuff all the time. It's not your corporate PTSD from your boss putting all this pressure on you and all this stuff. It's not PTSD from a car wreck or any other type of traumatic effect like that. The PTSD that I am trying to get people to understand, I compare it to wartime. I compare it to wartime. I compare it to an individual, to a soldier on the front lines, right? Um, it's similar because although a lot of individuals may go through their incarceration without having a hair on their body harmed, it doesn't mean that they're not still under that pressure, right? Of knowing that anything can happen to you at any moment. Any corner that you walk around could be the last corner that you walk around, because you could have upset somebody and you don't even know it. You know, maybe somebody again misperceived, misrepresented your body language in some kind of way. Maybe somebody just wants your booty and thinks that you're weak enough to take it, you know? So these things do occur. They do occur. And you have to be on guard of that 24/7, right? Depending on your institution. This is why we're always trying to get to lesser security institutions so we don't have to be so on guard. But when you're in a maximum security prison, you're hmm, boy, let me tell you, you're on guard. You know, you have to go shower with somebody, and what that means is that you have a very close homeboy that you know is gonna stand outside of that shower and keep his eyes peeled while you're in that shower, and then vice versa. You know, this is your shower mate. You don't take a shower unless that dude is around. You know, that's just how it goes. You get up first thing in the morning, as soon as you hear that door unlock, you get up, you put your boots on, strap up, you know. If you're carrying dirty, you put your shank on you, you just get ready. And that is life. It's life. It's gladiator school. That's these maximum security prisons that we're in. Doesn't matter if you go in 5 years. You could have a sentence of 5 years. If you have a violent charge or you have violent history, you very well possibly end up in a maximum security prison at a very young age. And let me tell you, that is a tough world. It's a tough world to get thrown into, man. You know? So it's understanding the PTSD that comes out of that. You know, the constant pressure of not knowing what's around each corner. Not knowing that when you get back to the dorm and if you're in cells, opening up your cell door, you know, who's in your cell. It's just around every step, every corner that you're taking in prison, you're aware. You're aware of your surroundings, you know. And again, it just all depends. If you're a gang member and you're within a gang, you may be able a little more relaxed, you know. But like me as an independent and somebody who didn't join gangs, who didn't get involved in running to people for protection, right? I just stood my ground and put everything that I had in knowing that I was a man of my walk, you know. Um, you have to be ready physically. I worked out every day, had my body right, ready to go at any time, and that was just what it was. There was no hesitation. You had to let these people know that you were there. When they came and they asked you, man, listen, man, we need this dude taken care of. Your number's up. No hesitation. I got it. Let's map it out. And you have to follow through. And once you start showing that you're that type of individual, word spreads around quickly. You know, but the trauma that resides and comes out of that, right? It is again, it sticks with you for the rest of your life. These aren't things that we can come home and people just tell us, well, you just need to let that go. Just need to forget about that. Like, man, that is one of the worst things that you can say to somebody coming home. That is absolutely one of the worst things that you can say to somebody that's coming home that has been gone longer. That's that person's right to say that, nobody else, because that's their experience. Nobody else has the right to tell that man or woman to let go of an experience like that. Again, it's like going and telling somebody, get over slavery, get over the Holocaust. That was so understanding the PTSD, understanding what that means, right, in that individual, the anxiety, the trauma, the hopelessness, all of that rooted into that PTSD. This is an individual that's coming home, and even though that she may know how to put on that confident mask, that PTSD, if they've been in a medium or high security prison, there is post traumatic stress disorder there. There's no question. There's anxiety, there's fear, there's all of these things. Some of my biggest triggers coming up behind me. To this day, I cannot have people behind me at close range. When I go in, I sit down in restaurants, I'm angling myself. right? To where I can see, make sure nobody comes behind me. I'm doing a field check. I'm scanning the field, right? To see just anything. I mean, this is just what I do. If I go into a 7-Eleven, I have to see everybody's face. I have to know who's in the store with me. I have to position myself certain ways, certain angles. This is just what I do because I have been in the middle of human beings killing each other, shoulder to shoulder, not knowing where it was coming from. I mean, that is what a riot is. It just pops off, it goes, it's ugly, and it it messes with you. It messes with you. So it's understanding that type of trauma within that individual, and not setting that off, and not putting this individual in any kind of situation that would trigger that type of anxiety, right? um Surprise parties are some of the worst things that you can do. We're not looking for surprise parties, you know. If it's maybe a few individuals, right? But if we've been gone longer than 10 years, relationships have changed, things have changed, right? We're not looking for surprise parties, and we're not looking for people from our past to pop up, especially if these people haven't been riding with us. You know what I mean? So surprise parties, popping of balloons, um, any anything that would catch us off guard would instantly trigger me. It would trigger my anxiety. It would trigger my anger. You know what I mean? And because I did not like being caught off guard because it scared me. It scared me to the point to where I'm ready. I don't know what's going on. And again, that is another factor of the anxiety, as well as not knowing. Cue this person in on what's going on. Let them know. Let her, him, let them know what's going on. Don't keep them out of the loop. Keep them informed, and understand that all of this is very overwhelming. When I came home, just me processing everything, just me processing everything around and what was going on was exhausting for me. You know, we're out here in the mix every day. We're used to it. But for an inmate coming home after that long bid, you have to remember they've been in a building. They've been on one piece of property for who knows how long. It's not very stimulating. So when you come over that, when you come out, this overstimulation of everything is exhausting, right? It's very exhausting, and we can easily become grumpy, miserable, and just want to get away from people. And then that can just shed a light on people. People get emotional. Oh, he's mad at me and all this stuff, especially when you add in alcohol and all that mix. So it's really understanding the mental health and understanding how it applies to this particular individual that you are bringing either into your home, or getting ready to have intimacy with, you know, understanding that mental health aspect of it. Last but not least, last but not least, number one, and you guys should know it. You guys should know it because I haven't talked about it yet. So if you don't know it yet, this is the number one issue. The top 5 no's of dating somebody coming home longer than a decade in prison. You have to understand we have trust issues. Number one, trust issues. Trust issues. And that's not just something that we can just get over, right? We cannot just get over our trust issues, because 9 times out of 10, this individual that has been spending a long time in prison either did something very serious, or has just had a lifetime of mishaps, and built up a criminal record, and they sentenced them under that. But either way, there has been trust issues with this individual probably for most of their life. And it's just not going to change by them coming home, no matter how much they think that they've changed, right? All we've done is just become more reclusive and trust less people, which, again, going back into the institutionalization, allows us to put a border, right? A border around a certain few people, then that's all we need. Again, because in prison, we don't need much to survive. And it's the same out here. We do not need much to survive. So we'll create that small little border of people that we know that we can trust and stay within that. Trust is the number one paramount issue. And it's going to break apart families, right? And it's going to break apart relationships because this is a fragile state of time that we're in. People are so damn fragile. And they always want to think that something is their fault. So just because I don't trust you because of my life's experiences does not mean that you are an untrusting person. That is what you have to understand. You have to be confident and rooted in self to know, right? You have to be confident and rooted in self to know that you are a trusting person. This is why you're still with them, because you're a trusting person. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard. One of the biggest issues that I have is allowing anybody to get too close to me, because my life's history and experiences has shown that when I allow people to get close to me, things just go chaotic. So I am in no rush. You know what I mean? So it's just understanding that for whatever reason, I after about 3 months, 4 months, I don't know. I somehow, some way just start pushing away. I start becoming cold. I start becoming distant, because many reasons. Many reasons. I don't want to hurt anybody else. I don't want to hurt anybody else anymore. I don't want to be hurt anymore. I've had enough. Enough is enough. I tap out, you know? And it's just really now just trying to find peace and calmness. And the thing about that is that I did that in prison. I found peace and calmness within myself, and that is how I handled my time, and that's how I smooth sailed on out of there. You know what I mean? Was within that peace and calmness. So I'm okay by myself, and I can find that peace and calmness within myself, right? So it's understanding that trust issue, how rooted it is. It has nothing to do with you unless you know that you're doing things to cause mistrust. But it's I'm specifically talking about the men and the women who know that they haven't done anything wrong and that their partners are still not trusting them. You just have to understand that we have been abandoned, we have been neglected, we have been lied to, we've been duped, you know. All of these things have occurred to us probably continuously, you know. And a lot of it probably came from our own family. So it's just understanding that it will take a long, long time for individuals to begin to trust. And if you know that you're a trusting person, again, you have the confidence within you, you know that you're a trusting person, then you just battle it out. You've made it this far. You know what I mean? You made it this far. So the number one issue, man, with all of us coming out doing longer than 10 years or more is trust. We don't trust nobody. I don't trust no damn body. I really don't. And people are showing me more and more each day why I don't trust them. But that's just me. That's just me. You know, that's just me. That's about all I got for you guys, man. The top 5 list is very, very important. If you guys follow this, whether you're male or female, or like I say, anywhere in between, you follow these things and you understand that it's not you. It's not you. It's just this person dealing with emotions, change, evolving, reentry, all of these issues. It all stems up under this package of this PTSD that is now just starting to be understood and studied, needs to be categorized under its own category. But if you guys have any issues with relationships or you have somebody that is coming home, please reach out to me. I am a certified life coach. I can walk you guys through this, right? I'm forming a little marriage counseling for reentry type of gig, you know. So please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me. Emails up on the screen. And I just wish everybody the best, man. I wish you guys the best. Just be conscious of these 5 things and be conscious not to trigger, and you just have to be the more patient person because we're just dealing with a lot of stuff, man. Dealing with a lot of stuff. So, to those affected by Hurricane Ian, I wish you many blessings. Many prayers going out to you. We're out here helping. We're gathering clothes. We're taking donations. Please, again, go to www.cominghomecoalition.com to the activities page, I believe what it's called, the activities page, to see what we got going on and how you could donate. If you do want your name up on this wall behind me, please reach out to me. Or if you want to shout out your business, you want to shout anything out, please let me know. We can get on that. Other than that, you guys be safe. Take it easy, man. Stay out of your emotions, please. Think critically, not emotionally. And let's stop sending our men and women to prison. Let's stop breaking our homes up and just be your best self. Have patience. Be self-aware. First and foremost, just be self-aware. If you know that you're emotional and that you cannot handle your emotions, please just get away from whatever situation you're in. It's not that important. Just get away from the situation. I just watched a video of these chicks fighting on a cruise ship. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. Like, we have to stop this stuff. These people are waiting in the clutches to snatch us up and give us felony convictions, man. And you're fighting on a cruise ship? What you think they're gonna do to you, man? Come on. This is what I'm talking about. If you know that you cannot control your emotions, man, please do something about that, man. Thomas Freed me. I'm out, man. Y'all take care of yourself.